From where will my help come? My help comes from Adonai, maker of heaven and earth. O God, help us to understand that grief and love go hand in hand, that the pain which loss inflicts is the measure of a love stronger than death. Though we grieve in our hearts, may we be unafraid to the trusted hand. In this spirit, O God, do we commit all that is precious to your keeping. We are here today to remember and to honor the memory of Susan Herwald, a beloved wife, mother, grandmother, aunt, sister, a cherished friend, an incredibly talented artist, a woman full of life, integrity, so much strength, and much love. Today we celebrate her life, her meaningful life, and join our hearts together to give comfort to her beloved husband, Gary, her treasured daughter, Margie, and her husband, Matt, her miracle grandchildren, Devin and Alexa, her cherished sister, Hallie, her precious niece and nephew, Isaac and Deanna, and of course, so many close and dear friends who stayed by her side through thick and thin throughout her life. In the words of Ecclesiastes, a season is set for everything, a time for every experience under heaven, a time for dancing and a time for wailing, a time for giving birth and a time for dying, a time for speaking and a time for silence, a time for seeking and a time of losing. The time of mourning is a complicated time, a difficult time, filled with many emotions and memories, both sweet and bitter. We continue our service with the recitation of psalms and prayers, linking Susan's life with the tradition of the people of Israel and the eternity of God. From Psalm 23. Adonai roi lo echsar binot dashe yarbitzeni al mei menuchot yenaleini nafshi shovev yishovev yancheini b'maglei tzedek yancheini b'maglei tzedek leman shemo gam ki elech begeitz al mavet lo irara ki ata imadi shiftecha umishantecha hema yenachamuni taroch lefanai shulchan neged tzorerai dishanta vashemen roshi kozi revaya ach tov v'chesed yirrefuni kol yemei chayai v'shavti beveit Adonai leorech yamin. God is my shepherd, I shall not want. God makes me lie down in green pastures, leads me beside still waters, and restores my soul. You lead me in right paths for the sake of your name. Even when I walk in the valley of the shadow of death, I shall fear no evil, for you are with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me. You have set a table before me in the presence of my enemies. You have anointed my head with oil. My cup overflows. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I shall dwell in the house of God forever. I now want to invite Susan's beloved husband, Gary, to share his words.
I'm going to try and get through this. I have a good backup, though. My dear Susie, I want you and everyone else to know how much I loved you and how much I will miss you over 54 years of being together through good and bad. We were always together. We never thought life could be any other way. I want everyone to know how really strong you were through all the pain and suffering. You fought harder than anyone I will ever know. After each setback, you came back and lived a full life. Your incredible artwork, if you saw it in the front, you'll agree. You always looked great, even after going through hell. Wherever she went, she looked great, and I was not the only one that said that. No matter what you went through, you carried yourself with pride. We had some very hard times, but we were always there for each other. We had fun times. As life moved on, we were blessed with our incredibly loving, wonderful, and talented daughter, Margie. She was our miracle. She could not have been loved more than any mother could love a child by Susie. Then our grandchildren, Devin and Lexi, they loved you so much, and you loved them more than words can express. Of course, your love of animals, especially our 4 dogs, Minky, Eppie, Gilly, and now Candy, which, if anybody's from the neighborhood, they know Candy. Family and friends all loved you. I could go on and on. I just want everyone you know that your life was defined by your love, and all you did no matter that was thrown out. You were a fighter to the end. Not many people could live the life you did and accomplish what you did. Your suffering is over, and I will miss you more than you know. I love you more than anyone knows. You will live in my heart and the hearts of all that knew you forever. You lost this battle, but won the battle of life with your great strength. You will suffer no more. Through all this thing, one part of a song ran in my mind. It was like our song. It was by a group called Orleans. And the refrain went, after all these years, you are still the one, and you will always be. My heart is broken. Thank you.
Thank you, Gary. Share this reading from Rabbi Alvin Fine. Birth is a beginning and death a destination, and life is a journey from childhood to maturity and youth to age, from innocence to awareness and ignorance to knowing, from foolishness to discretion and then perhaps to wisdom, from weakness to strength or strength to weakness, and often back again, from health to sickness, sickness to health, and back again, we pray, to health again and again. From offense to forgiveness, from loneliness to love, from joy to gratitude, from pain to compassion, and grief to understanding, from fear to faith, from defeat to defeat to defeat, until looking backward or ahead, we see that victory lies not at some high place along the way, but in having made the journey stage by stage, a sacred pilgrimage. Birth is a beginning and death a destination, and life is a journey, a sacred pilgrimage to life everlasting. Friends, today we are here to honor and to celebrate Susan's life. The beloved wife, mother, grandmother, sister, aunt, and friend, Susan's life was filled with elegance and beauty, love, and of course, resilience. From her earliest days as Susan Platt, born to Dr. Daniel and Norma Platt in Hartford, Connecticut, it was clear that Susan had a zest for life that would carry her through even the most challenging moments. As a young girl, Susan displayed an artistic talent that went beyond mere skill. It was a deep part of her soul. I'm so grateful for the time I had with Susan's family yesterday, learning more about her incredible life with members of the beautiful family. I loved hearing about the photo that Susan and her sister Hallie when they were children, Susan effortlessly posing like a model, while Hallie appearing less than impressed in the clothes that their parents made them wear. Susan was already showcasing the grace and spirit that she would carry throughout her life. At the tender age of 9, her father gifted her watercolor pencils, sparking a lifelong love for creating beauty from her imagination, a gift that stayed with her throughout her entire life journey. Hallie, you shared yesterday that Susan's artistic gift was innate. It wasn't something you learn, it was something you're born with. And indeed it was. Your family treasures her art. Alexa and Devin proudly displaying her work in their rooms, art that represents not only her skill, but also her love and care for those closest to her. Susan's life wasn't defined by her art or even her talents alone. As many of us know, from the age of 11, she began her lifelong battle with Crohn's disease and other illnesses. Yet she refused to let that battle define her. She was strong and determined, someone who would rise again and again, no matter how hard life tried to knock her down. Her resilience was extraordinary, and her spirit remained vibrant, full of life. Of course, no story of Susan would be complete without mentioning the love of her life, Gary. Their story began at Ohio University, where they were set up. Gary perhaps was more interested in sports than art, but he did do something that sealed the deal in her heart. He visited an art museum all by himself, just to show her that he cared about what mattered to her. Gary, you also noted that you wanted to know what she was passionate about, and you wanted to learn about it. It helped that the museum was pretty close to your house in Columbus. The moment spoke volumes to Susan, showing her the kind of man Gary was and is. He became cool to her. They were married on August 16th in 1970 in Cleveland, a marriage filled with love, meaning, and shared beauty, despite life's many, many challenges. Their bond was profound, and Gary was always by her side, loving her, supporting her through the highs and the lows. You mentioned yesterday that even the hospital nurses admired Gary's devotion, remarking how rare it was to see such a loving and dedicated husband. In fact, I think you said that the nurses noted how they wished that their own partners were a quarter devoted to them as Gary was to Susan. Together, they raised their beloved daughter, Margie, who was Susan's pride and joy. And then came Devin and Alexa, her grandchildren, who were truly the light of her life. They were her miracles, as Gary would say, and she cherished every moment with them. She loved sharing gossip with Devin indulging in music and art conversations with Alexa, and simply watching her family grow, literally and figuratively, as her grandkids and niece and nephew all passed her in height. Her grandchildren alongside Deanna and Isaac remember her as their measuring stick, a figure of warmth, laughter, and love in their lives. Despite her battle with illness, she lived a life filled with beauty, fun, and laughter. She loved a good adventure, whether it was sneaking out for a concert when she was younger, or her secret biker boy romance in high school. And I'm going to let her sister share more about that when you guys speak privately. Susan's life was filled with joy, from her art studios around Cleveland to her travels with Gary and Margie and her family. The ocean was one of her favorite places, though she preferred to experience it from the safety of the shore, with the water just reaching her ankles, watching her loved ones enjoy the sea. Her personality left a lasting mark, whether it was her infamous eye rolls, her terrible driving, as Gary can attest to when she once declared, "We're going to die," when they reached the freeway, or her insistence on celebrating every birthday with fanfare. She made sure that everyone around her knew that they were loved, remembered, and celebrated. She loved and was lifted up by her friends, some of which she had from kindergarten on, and many of those lifelong friends, devoted friends, are here remembering her as well. She had so much love and gratitude for you all. In her final months, Susan faced tremendous difficulty, but that is not how she wished to be remembered. She wanted to be remembered, and she will be remembered, as a beautiful, vibrant, and talented woman who filled the lives of those around her with love and with beauty. She fought her illness bravely, but it was not her illness that defined her. What defined her was her heart, the love she had for her family, her ability to find beauty in every corner of the world, and the strength to keep on rising no matter how hard the fall. We must keep telling the story of this woman and live your own lives in ways that would make her proud. There's a custom when a Jewish scholar finishes a book about the Torah or the Bible, the author doesn't write the words, "the end." Instead, we are taught to write the Hebrew words, "tam v'nishlam," meaning that the purpose of the work has been achieved in its fullness. And so it is with the life of your beloved Susan. She lived a full life. Even with her immense and unfair battles, she lived a full life. In her passing, we mourn the physical loss of a remarkable woman, but we also celebrate a life well lived. We honor the love she showered upon her family, the wisdom she imparted, the beauty of the art she created, and the legacy that she leaves behind. In Jewish tradition, we say that a person's memory should be for a blessing, and Susan's memory, without a doubt, will continue to bless her family and all who knew her. May her love of life, her resilience, her beauty, her talent, and her strength live on in all of us. Zichrona livracha, may her memory be a blessing. Before we rise for our memorial prayer, I want to share some directions. Following services, we'll be moving to Mount Olive Cemetery in Solon, Ohio. And following the interment in the cemetery, a Shiva gathering will be held at 3685 Ronsdale Road in Shaker Heights until 5 p.m. and then again from 7 to 9 p.m. tonight. I now invite you to please rise as we continue with the memorial prayer, El Malei Rachamim. El Malei Rachamim, Shochein Bamromim, Hametzei Menucha Nechona, Tachat Kanafei Hashchina, Im Kedoshim Utehorim, Kizahar Harakia Mazirim, את נשמת סוזן הרולד שהלכה לעולמה. בעל הרחמים יסתיריה בסתר כנפיו לעולמים, ויצרור בצרור רעים את נשמתה. אדוני הוא נחלתה, ותנוח בשלום על משכבה, ונאמר Amen. May the source of life, the fountain of all being, open our hearts to compassion and our eyes to wisdom, that we might glimpse in perfect peace and sadness the way of all things. May Susan's memory be for us a blessing, and may we never let the light of her love grow dim in our hearts. May we remember all her worthy and righteous deeds, that her memory be forever bound up in the bond of life. Adonai is our source and our destination, our beginning and our end. May her resting place awaken us to this truth, that the bond of love we shared and share, not be severed in sorrow. May she rest in peace, and together we say, Amen.
Turn towards the hearse. Once you get towards the hearse, we're going to place the casket on top of the roller. We're going to pass it along, put it on the right road.
The interment will be at the Mount Olive Cemetery. The aspirants who are going to that service, please search your cars directly. Put on your headlights and your hazard lights. After the family, I thank you for accepting this.
said, if you love me, just tell us.